Hi everybody. You can't see me tonight because I have the camera turned toward a box. And in this box, I put some flour. Today we're going to practice writing some numbers and maybe even some letters in this flour. And do you know what I'm going to do with it after I'm done? I washed my hands and I put it in this clean container, so I'm going to use it to fry some chicken. But right now, I'm going to scoot it around in my box so that I have a nice white area to write on. You could do this with sugar or salt, and it would still be okay to use it if you had clean hands. Now, look at that. It's all white. I'm going to start by drawing a number. This is a number that some of you will have on your locker at the school and classroom. It shows how old some of you are. If you know what that number is, you can say it out loud. If you said 3, you're right. Now I'm going to erase it and I'll write another number. This is another number that some of you have on your locker in the classroom. Some of you are this age. If you know what that number is, you can say it out loud. If you guessed 4, you're right. But did you know you could write 4 another way? You can write 4 with an open top, or you can write 4 with a slanted top. That's a 4 too. And if I didn't know what 4 looked like, but I had counted and I knew I had 4 things, I could write 4 like this. 1 tally mark, 2 tally marks, 3 tally marks, 4 tally marks. I'm going to write another number. I like this number. If you are this number, it will be on your locker at school, and it will mean you're going to go to kindergarten next year. Some of you will turn this number over this summer. Does anybody know what that is? If you said 5, you're right. Okay, I'm going to erase it, and I'm going to write, this is going to be a really hard number. And it's kind of tricky because I'm combining 4 1s with a 10 to write this number. And I do that by writing the 1 to represent the 10 and the 4. I heard somebody say 40. That's close, but that's not the answer. Does anyone know what it's called? If you said 14, you were correct because we have a 4 1 and a 1 10. That makes 14. Let's count to 14 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We counted to 14. Now I'm going to erase it this way. I shook my box to erase it. Now, let's go on and try another number. I'm going to write a number that means 1. Do you think I'm going to use a curvy line or a straight line? See what I use. You're right, I used a straight line. That means 1. Now I'm going to write a number called 2. Do you think I'll use a straight line or a curvy line? I'm going to use both. There's a 2. It starts with a curve, and then it has a straight line at the bottom. Oh, and look, when you write a 1 and a 2 together this way, it makes a 12. I'm going to change it by writing another 2. Curvy line, straight line. Now my number says 212. I'm going to erase it. I'm going to write a number, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to make some spots, and I'm going to write the number that tells you how many spots I made. let's see, I will make this number, it's a curvy number. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that is. I'm going to make spots. If you know what it is, you can tell your family and then count the spots. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now let's count the spots all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're right. I made a 6. Now I'm going to erase it. Now the next number that I'm going to write is going to be one of my favorite numbers. This is the number that we usually see on the clock in the morning when we're making our beds and getting ready for rest time. So to help you remember what it is, I'm going to start by drawing a clock face. There's my pretend clock face. And here I have the number. I don't really have enough space to make my number here. I'm going to start over. If you make a mistake when you're writing with sugar or flour, it's very easy to start over. The clock didn't work very well, so I'm going to pretend I have a square clock. And over here, I'm going to write the number. This is the number we're looking at when we start making our beds every morning. And the two arms of the clock point at that number when it's 10 o'clock. And 10 is when we start cleaning up for lunch, getting our beds ready. I'm going to do another number. This time, I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to draw the number, and then I'm going to make you guess. If you're young and you're not going to kindergarten next year, I'll tell you what the number is after it's over. But if you're an older child and you're good at numbers and you're going to kindergarten, think about this number because it's really hard. I'm going to draw the number. It goes around and around. I can keep going around if I want, but I'm going to stop. And now I'm going to draw the number of spots that tell you how many that number is. Can you count with me? 2, 3, 4, and now I'm going to do some more. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and 4 together. Let's count the spots now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're right. It's 8. You can draw pictures. You can make your name. You can do all kinds of things in a box or a pan full of flour, salt, or sugar. Thanks for joining me.